everybody. How are you? Hope you're having a good day. So, I want to sit down and react to all the latest Twitter peeps on Twitter. Chantal's done a couple of live streams. Her energy right now is a lot different than the energy she was putting out a few days ago. We all know and remember how she basically went off and she was doing the most in her live stream. She was being very mouthy. She got in trouble at the mall. She was mouthing off to the security guards at the mall and basically was escorted off the property. And even after being escorted off the property, she was still giving the lip. I don't know exactly what happened after she left, but apparently somebody somewhere gave her a good talking to because she put out a community post issuing an apology to the mall. And I'm not quite sure how to take that. I'm not quite sure who talked to her or when or where, but her tone is completely changed. Because apologizing is something that Foodie just does not do. But I think it's safe to say that we are entering the find out phase of the F around. Chantal's been doing the most, and she's been doing the most to offend people. People are now treating her like Pokemon. If she goes into a business, people are calling, people are letting the management know, hey, there's somebody in your establishment that is filming, because Chantal cannot film in public spaces. I don't care what she says. She cannot film in public spaces and put people on camera. It's private property. Even parking lots are private property. It's another thing she doesn't understand, that even the parking lots connected to a property are private property, owned by the company. So her tone is different now. She's currently on live being boring, as is the Foodie way. Pardon me, excuse me. And from the little bit that I did hear, it feels like this trip that she's been talking about, it's going to be pushed up a lot sooner. She was mentioning Pete's in today's chat and saying that she had to go buy groceries for him to stay at the apartment. Now, here's my question. Is Pete's really going to be staying at the apartment while she's gone? And how would that be permitted? He is not on the lease. And why would he stay at the apartment when Foodie has a history of not paying the rent? Does that even make sense? Now, let's talk about the apartment situation for just a second. Let's go back. From everything that I've seen the last few months, Chantal has been wanting to get out of that lease for a while now, and she's tried every way in the world to get kicked out. In my opinion, she even tried using Girl World as a way to get out of that lease. She purposely showed the apartment, the inside of the apartment, even her apartment number, maybe hoping that Girl World would harass the apartment building and she could use that as an excuse to break the lease. Although, even if that had worked, they're not just going to let her go without paying some sort of a fee, maybe a portion of the rent that's owed for the 14-month contract. So she said more than once, if she gets kicked out, she's okay with that. So she wants to get out of that apartment, and she's still trying to find a way to get out of it. So does it make sense that if she's going on a trip really, really soon, for Pete's to come to the apartment when, let's just say, she was leaving the country for a short period of time? Why not just take BG, the cat, to Pete's, and he can take care of BG where he's at versus stay at an apartment where he's not supposed to be? I'm going to give you guys another theory, and we're going to go another way with this. From everything that I've seen and everything that I've heard, and this is just something to think about, Chantal is obsessed with Salah. She's obsessed with the idea of being with Salah. What if this whole cover story of her going to see Salah in Malaysia, it's really a cover story for her wanting to stalk him in the Middle East? Is Chantal crazy enough to fly to the Middle East, maybe get as far as Damascus because she desperately wants to be back with Salah? And maybe she figures if she flies all the way to Damascus, that she'll put some kind of pressure on him or threaten him or blackmail him to come pick her up, and he's just going to have to do it. And basically that's her way of getting back into his house. Yeah, I think she is crazy enough to do it. So she might be coming up with this idea of Salah and I are going to meet up in Malaysia, when the real story is he may not be talking to her. He may not want to see her, but she may want to see him. I mean, she's really deep in her delusions, and she wants to be with him. She wants to be part of his family, although she's not welcome in his family. So, I mean, it's not uncommon for people who are stalkers and dangerously obsessed to not let go of those that they are obsessed with and follow them wherever they go. I mean, I have no doubt that Chantal, in the time that she's not on YouTube, that she is checking out Salah's socials, maybe the socials of his family members, his friends, anybody tagging anything, maybe looking under the hashtags of Syria, hashtag Ramadan, looking for anything connected to him just to see what he's up to. She won't leave this man alone. So the feeling that I'm getting off of her is she really, really wants to get out of Canada. She's made a mess of her life in Canada. She's still got the bankruptcies on her record that she's got to worry about. She's in an apartment. I don't know what her money situation is looking like, but she doesn't want to be there alone. So she is determined to go after Salah, be with Salah, even if he doesn't want her there. And I feel that everything's going to come to a head, and it's going to be messy and it's going to be ugly, simply because Chantal will not leave him alone. So Chantal, I'm thinking that you are lost in your delusions. You will not leave Salah alone. You might be taking a plane ride over to the Middle East to try to be with him. But if you do, this is going to end badly. In the meantime, you're in Canada and you're making a bunch of trouble. And I think you want to leave Canada because you have pushed things to a point where you've gotten people so angry with putting your camera in people's faces and the threats about, I'm going to film children if I want to, that now people are treating you like a Pokemon. You caused that to happen. You did. So those are just my thoughts. I don't know what you guys think about that. You can let me know in the comments. But in the meantime, we got some Twitter peeps to go over, because I think, like I said, we are in the find out phase of the F around. And that's the entire reason why Chantal wants to get out of Canada as quickly as possible. Because once again, she's created a mess that she doesn't know how to get out of. Like, she's just gotten people just that angry. It's giving her being in Kuwait and the whole situation with pause and I've got to get out of here energy. That's what it's feeling like to me. So enough with that. Let's go over the Twitter peeps, y'all. You know, I got plenty of them. Let's do it. All right, it's time for the Twitter peeps. Let me just go ahead and bring up my Twitter so you guys can see stuff. So for those of you on Twitter that you would like to follow me on Twitter, there's my handle, Wild Girl Sarah. And for those of you not on Twitter, that's why I do the peeps. So you guys can keep up with all the stuff without actually having to set foot on the bird app. I'm gathering it up for you. All right, now this is not Chantal related, but it's something I wanted to show in the Twitter peeps, because Chantal likes to run her mouth about older people. Hey, Chantal, look at this absolutely drop dead gorgeous woman. Melito says 60-year-old supermodel showing the world that she's still got the juice. Look at this woman. Curves for days. She's 60 years old. She looks fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. Mama's rocking those curves, the legs, the waist. She is a silver fox. You go, girl. Fantastic. So, Chantal, what do you think? She's 60 and she's fabulous. And I salute you, madam. I absolutely salute you. You could walk a runway and nobody would question it. I wouldn't question it. You should walk a runway right now, but you look amazing. Okay, Joanna Freedom says Foodie Beauty is back in my city and getting banned from malls. So I've noticed there's a lot of new reaction channels to Chantal popping up. A lot of people covering Chantal that normally don't cover her. Dad's podcast is one. Like, he doesn't do a lot of Chantal content. He does know the lore a bit, but he did an amazing stream not too long ago. But even Dad's podcast is getting in on the action. All right, Tat Von B says the head on it. JFC, she is really unfortunate. So this is Chantal today. This is what she looked like. Chantal, I'm not trying to be mean, but if you're planning on going on a trip, you look like you really shouldn't go on a trip. You look like death warmed over. You look bloated. You look swollen. You look sick. You look like the only trip you should be taking is to the hospital. Honestly, like, you are in really bad health. It's so bad you can see it. This is bad. This is a bad look. You shouldn't be going to Malaysia or any other place. You look terrible, ma'am. Oh, silly, it's Lily says, I know most of Foodie Beauty's lore, but 10 months in girl world isn't enough to have seen it all. Seems like not much has changed except her growth, not in a good way. So there's a clip here that I'm going to play. Context for those who don't know, the clip I'm going to play, this was during the Canadian Villa era. This is when she was with Natter. And something struck me about this clip, that, you know how when Chantal is with Salah, that she was putting out the vibes of like, oh, I'm around him and I'm in danger. If something happens to me, it was them. Well, as it turns out, that wasn't the first time she put out that vibe with a man that she's involved with. Like, she's done it multiple times, but let's watch this clip.
He's really mad I'm talking about him, so I don't want to talk about him anymore. Yes. So.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry. Sorry about that.
He's really mad I'm talking about him, so I don't want to talk about him anymore. Yes.
You know what? I'm just going to leave the volume alone.
He's really mad I'm talking about him, so I don't want to talk about him anymore. Yes.
You know what? This is crazy. I'm sorry, y'all. Like, I'm just trying to turn up the volume because she's got her low BMI voice happening. And I can barely hear her. So I was just trying to adjust the volume. And every time I do, it cuts it off. I'll leave the volume alone, though. I'll leave it alone.
He's really mad I'm talking about him, so I don't want to talk about him anymore. Yes. So, I'm not in danger. No, I'm just gonna, let's just. This is such a mess. I need to get off live stream, you guys. Or I want to stay on live stream. Just.
So she's over there putting out the vibe of, I'm in danger, y'all. Or I'm making him angry because I'm talking about him. But look at that Duper's Delight smile. Let me tell y'all something. If someone like Chantal or anybody gets online and they try this narrative of I'm in danger, they're not going to be smiling if it's real. If they're sitting there doing a live stream and smirking, they're not in danger. They're not really scared.
I know.
Like, she's doing everything she can to stop herself from smiling. And look at the people in the chat saying this is a game. Yeah, like her and Natter, they like to play games with one another. It was like a power play tug of war. Who had control over who? Who had control of who? They loved to play that game with one another back in the day. Like it was so childish.
He's really mad I'm talking about him, so I don't want to talk about him anymore. Yes. So, I'm not in danger. No.
You know, for anybody who might be wondering, are there any OG Beezers from back in the day still watching Chantal? Is there anyone that was around during the Villa days still watching her, watching her on Kick or YouTube? Honestly, I don't see many names that I recognize in her chat from those days. And here's a big reason why. Because she liked to play games with people. She liked to play in their faces, get people worried, get people stressed out. And a lot of Beezers just couldn't take it. They felt like their heads were being messed with. So if you're someone you're wondering, where are all the OG Beezers? Where'd they go to? A lot of them just gave up. They're like, this is stupid. This makes no sense. I'm out. Because of moments like this. And it happened all the time.
No, I'm just gonna, let's just.
Okay, we're going to move on. I think we watched that.
I just want you to know, if anything happens to me, it was them. It was him. It was them.
So here we go. This is perfect. Anybody seeing the correlation here? It seems like every time that Chantal gets with a man, in order to get power over that man, she paints herself the victim. She did it with Nader, and she did it with Salah. And Chantal, I don't know if you're deep in your delusions, if you are so deep in your delusions that you're planning on flying to the Middle East because you're trying to force your way into Salah's life and into his family. If that is your intention, to fly, say, all the way to Damascus and say, I'm here, you're taking advantage of his silence. Because if he's silent, then you can put forth any narrative you want. And you can claim, oh, I'm all the way here, y'all. And he told me he was going to meet me. I'm in Damascus waiting for him. And he's not talking to me. He's ghosting me. Is that the plan? Is that the plan that you have in mind? That you are determined to go to the Middle East to get your way. And if you don't get your way, you're going to punish him by painting him as a scammer? Are you going to tell this great big lie that he lied to you and told you to meet him, say in Damascus or somewhere, and then he didn't show up, when maybe the real truth is he hasn't talked to you in a long time, but you're going to try to play victim? Because I think that's what you're going to do. I think you want to stalk Salah in the Middle East. You're determined to stalk him. You're determined to be a part of his life, to force your way into his life, and he don't want nothing to do with you. You want to stalk him, and to cover up the fact that you are planning to stalk him, you're coming up with this cover story of he and I are going on a trip. And for anyone who might be coming over here, who might be a Beezer, like just let me just put this forth to you. Her and Salah, when they were around each other, they did nothing but fight. If he really cared about her, if he really missed her, why has he been so comfortable with her being away for so long? He does not love her. She doesn't even love him, to be honest. This is not about love. This is about Chantal being in Canada and creating a mess of her life in Canada and wanting a place to escape to. She's looking for an escape route, an escape room. Everywhere she goes, she creates a mess. And then as soon as she's done making the mess, she looks for some place to run away from the mess. So she doesn't love Salah. Salah does not love her. She just made a complete mess of her life in Canada, although you Beezers, you guys helped her out. You gave her $10,000+ to start her life over. That is more than enough. You guys were more than generous with your money. She made all kinds of promises about what she was going to do when she got back. Has she fulfilled her promises? Hell no. She hasn't. She's done nothing but gorge herself stupid and make herself worse. She was given the perfect opportunity to take care of herself. And I'm telling you, I'm getting the vibe that she wants to run. So all that money that you guys gave her, the opportunity that you gave her, she's about to play in your face. She wants out of that lease, and Chantal is not above packing a bag and leaving in the middle of the night and disappearing to another country because she does not like adulthood. She does not like responsibility. She wants to be free of it. She wants to go back to Syria where she can stay in a house and not pay rent. She wants someone else to take care of her and daddy her. She wants to basically infantize herself and act like a baby. She wants someone to treat her like a baby. And as long as she's in Canada, there's no one around that she can boss around, that she can dominate, that she can control or threaten. She has to be an adult. And she doesn't like it. She really doesn't like it.
I just want you to know.
And she is willing to stalk somebody else and try to force her way into their life just to get away from the mess that she's made for herself.
If anything happens to me, it was them. It was him. It was them.
Sure, playing the victim, when the truth of the matter is you make other people into victims, Chantal. You're the predator. You make other people into victims. You make animals into victims. You'll prey on anybody, anything, whether it's human or not. In order for a predator to get away with being a predator, they often paint themselves the victim. They put on the disguise of being a non-predator. And why do they do that? So they can go on hunting and making other people and things into prey. You're a predator. Missy Russell says Foodie Beauty should probably rethink her position on filming other people's kids in Canada, especially after that tragic incident that just happened up there, because some parents are fairly protective and it could end badly for her. I've said that. I said that recently. Y'all heard me. I said to her, in case she was listening, I said, Chantal, you don't know. You don't know about that mama bear, papa bear energy. You might run into the wrong one on the wrong day, and they might snap on you. If you run into a mama bear or a papa bear or even an uncle bear or a grandpa bear or an auntie bear, and you've got your camera phone pointed at some kids, you don't know what they're going to do. You don't know what people are capable of. I'm not advocating that somebody put their hands on another person and break the law. But you just don't know what people are capable of and what they're going to do in the heat of the moment. It could be something as simple as them slapping the phones out of your hand, and then there goes your only way of making money and earning an income. Or it could be something beyond that. But I wouldn't. I wouldn't be testing fate if I were her. All right, something positive from Maddie Evans saying, I'm kind of loving this new trend on TikTok. Seeing young people bring back old fashioned is great. So this young man is giving me Led Zeppelin vibes. But you guys know I grew up in the 70s. I love 70s fashion. I love the vintage fashion. And he looks fabulous. I love it. What's wrong with a little vintage fashion? He's got the Led Zeppelin hair. Love it. Love all of it. Okay. Lori says, Foodie Beauty Kick Chat, username Token Diva somehow knows Folds was reported for filming in her apartment elevator and gym, but we don't got any evidence supporting this. Yeah, you know what? I've been seeing this stuff on Twitter today, like this person, Token Diva, and other people saying this happened and that happened. I'm a reactor from way back, and you just never know who's going to say what and what their intentions are. So I'm one of those that if somebody says something, I take it with a grain of salt. It's like, okay, you're saying it. Where are the receipts? This is girl world. We like receipts. Do you have any receipts for us? Do you have any proof to back up what you say? Because until there are receipts, it's just words. We don't know who you are. We don't know where you're getting this information from. We want proof. But here's something that Token Diva said. Someone in her apartment building called the police to report her for filming inside the apartment building. You can't record people inside the elevator and in the gym room in your own apartment building. Get effed. Again, take it with a grain of salt. I want to see proof. I want to see receipts. I've seen evidence before that there might be people from Foodie's side of the fence that they might be running around girl world in the community, passing out red herrings, tossing out these false breadcrumbs to see what people believe and what they report on and what they do videos on. So I'm all about, okay, so you said it. Where are the receipts? I want receipts before I believe anything. Lowlified says, Turbo 2-Ton describes Foodie Beauty perfectly. Shout out to the Dad Challenge podcast for the reaction. All right, so let's watch the Dad Challenge podcast clip.
That's our roads. Damn it.
So I'm going to educate you today.
Are you going to educate us? Yeah? Professor Two-Ton?
He's trying to tell me that I can't film from here, from the park.
Now, here's the interesting thing about the Dad Challenge podcast. People in Chantal's own chat were letting her know that the Dad Challenge podcast reacted to her. So she knows about it. She's not unaware. She knows. And I'm sure she knows about the Dad Challenge podcast. It's been mentioned before, but she didn't want to comment on it. It's interesting. I think she's afraid to remark on the Dad Challenge podcast. She'll say a lot of things about female reactors and people that have channels that are women. But when it comes to a man, she just gets really intimidated.
Lot.
Hey, Foodie Beauty. You can't, dumbass, and you know it.
Whatever.
Just roll on, bitch.
What a loser.
Yeah. The guy with the job telling the Turbo Two-Ton to leave for not streaming. He's the loser. And you're like, the camera's doing this. He's definitely the loser, though, in the scenario of the two of you. Yeah, I'll give you that.
Yeah, so she knows about the Dad Challenge podcast. She knows about him, and she don't want to talk about him. Bad Seed says, Foodie Beauty, management of the apartments did talk to her. She told the Beezers she probably won't take them to the gym anymore. You know, again, we are in the find out phase of the F around. I don't know if she got contacted by the mall, but she did issue an apology via her community post to the mall, which is really odd because it's not like the mall nor its personnel look at her YouTube channel. So why not just send an apology through email or something to the mall versus putting it on your YouTube channel? Does that even make sense? You're saying you're sorry on your YouTube channel, but how in the world are they going to see it? But do I think management might have talked to her? Perhaps. Tweety says reporting her filming inside her apartment building and risking her lease is just going to help her be able to do exactly what she wants, which is to get to Salah ASAP, regardless of the well-being of BG. Yeah, she's been wanting out of that lease, and she's been trying every way in the world to get out of it. She said that multiple times. Well, if I have to leave, then I have to leave, and you guys are just helping me out. She really wants out. She's been wanting out for the longest. And it's weird. She's talking about this trip that she wanted to take on her birthday, which isn't until next month. But yet, in her current live stream, which was happening today, interestingly enough, yesterday, Pete's did a live stream on his channel, and I was just like breezing through the chat because when I first turned on his live stream, I had the volume off and I was looking at his face. He looked very stressed out. He looked very upset about something. And then after a while, you know, he went on to talking about other things. But it looks like allegedly Chantal has been talking to Pete's about staying at her place while she's gone to babysit BG. Do I believe that's actually going to happen? No. I don't see how it can happen because he's not on the lease with Chantal. Like, I don't know how that would be permitted. From a financial standpoint, I don't know why Pete would agree to that because Chantal has a history of screwing people over. Like, what is she going to do? Tell him that she's going to pay the rent on the 1st and then she's going to be gone for an entire month and leave him there for an entire month without her. And the security and personnel of the building are going to see this strange guy they don't know who is not a tenant walking in and out. Does that even make sense to anybody? I don't think the apartment would be okay with somebody just, you know, being there without authorization, without, you know, checking them out. I think the whole Pizza's gonna cat sit BG at my place is a cover story because she wants to go back to the Middle East and she's trying to cover that up by saying, oh, he's gonna cat sit BG. None of it makes sense. None of it. Once again, Chantal is reaching out to Pete and involving him in her mess because she's got a delusion in her head and she wants to go stalk Salah, in my opinion. She's trying to use Pete to cover up her lie about, I'm going to go take a vacation. It's not a vacation. You even called it a fake vacation. So you're not going on vacation. I don't know exactly where you're going or what you're doing, but if I were Pete, I wouldn't trust you. You're financially irresponsible. He's a fool if he believes you. MC says, quote, and so what if we gave rides to members of BICIS? What of it? You know what, Chantal? It's comments like that that will put you on the no-fly list. I'm just saying. Oh, silly, it's Lily says, does anyone else remember how Foodie Beauty puts on this accent tone of voice in certain situations? She did it when she just got to Kuwait when her and Poopy were talking bad about his friend's wife. Or am I just hearing things? So shout out to Oh Lordy, it's Jordy. But let's hear the clip.
I'm on the road. There's no law about not going on the road. How about you go back to school, actually take some law and fucking learn it? How about
go back to school and actually take some law?
Oh my God. You guys need to go back to school and learn the laws. You need to know that this is wrongful arrestment. Wrongful arrestment. Oh my God. Chantal.
And is it me? Am I reading too much into this chat? But you know what this feels like? Looking at it from another angle, this feels like I'm going to be leaving Canada anyway. I'm going to be getting out of Canada. So I am walking out of Canada or flying out of Canada with two middle fingers up, you know, F this place, F the problems that I created for myself here. But on my way out, before I leave, I'm going to be the most obnoxious, rude biatch that I want to be, because screw it. I'm leaving anyway. It's giving that kind of energy of like, I got nothing to lose. I'm leaving anyway. I'm going on a trip, and the trip that I'm going on, I'll probably not come back here. That's the energy that Chantal's putting out. That she's planning on leaving really soon. She's got nothing to lose. She's getting on a plane soon. So what does she have to worry about? Maybe I'm wrong for saying that, but that's just what I'm picking up.
Paul, you look and sound fucking crazy.
Yeah, tell her, Jordy. Tell her.
This is ridiculous. They're literally following me everywhere, escort me off. I'm a threat. How? I went to get food. I'm filming myself, and they're being assholes.
You know what, Chantal? If all you did was go to get food, if you had not been live streaming and putting people on camera, I'm sure you could have gotten your food and nobody would have cared. But you've been to that mall multiple times, live streaming, putting people on camera. That is the problem. You're putting people on camera. You're on private property. You're not allowed to live stream on private property, nor even in the parking lot, because that's still part of the private property. The people you're putting on camera, they are entitled to their privacy. Those people you're putting on camera, you don't know what they're going through. You don't know who they are. You're not walking up and getting their consent. You have no right to put them on a live stream, and yet you've been doing it to the point where you've been that mall so much that I'm sure they're sick of you just going through there and live streaming everything, and they probably just decided, you know what, it's time to shut this down.
That's why she's mad. This is the second time the mall police have stopped her in the food court. I love this so much.
I'm filming myself. They can't arrest me. I'm not committing a crime. They're following me on the sidewalk. They're fucking pathetic. Yeah. I don't care. Whatever. I'm gonna be doing this everywhere. I don't care. That is harassment. Yeah, they keep standing there.
Yeah, you know what? You know what's funny, Chantal? The last few days, you've had this big bad Mary energy. You got that brassy mouth energy. Oh, I'm going to do what I want. I'm going to film how I want. But the moment you got in trouble, that big bad Mary, big brassy energy disappeared, didn't it? Didn't it? You didn't come on camera today talking that way. Wonder what happened. And you know what? I don't think that you're sorry for what you did. I don't think you feel any remorse or regret, because people like you never feel remorse or regret, nor do you learn any lessons from the wrongs that you do. You're not sad or regretful from doing wrong. You just get upset when you get caught and there are consequences. You want to do the wrong, but you don't want to deal with the consequences of doing wrong. You don't like getting called out. Well, if you don't like getting called out, then don't break laws. Respect the laws.
Don't you have other things to do? Like, I'm a woman going to get food at a mall. Like,
and somebody somewhere said this, and I'm sorry if I'm not crediting you. I think Chantal, she's so lost in her delusions, and she's so in her bubble with being online and live streaming that she just doesn't understand that what she does on live with her audience is one thing, but dealing with real people in the flesh is another thing. Like, she can't treat people in real life the way she treats people online. Like, once you step outside your house and you are around real people, there is no hug box. You get people upset, you mouth off, there might be consequences for that. You can't have this I'll do whatever I want energy in front of people.
what the fuck? Okay, but this is not private property now. You moron.
they're making.
And she was so mad. Look at her face. It's red. Enigma 2025 says, I think she could be trying to get evicted and possibly banned from Canada because she mentioned supporting militants, helping them and possibly giving them money. I wonder if that's who helped her money laundering in Syria. I don't know. I know that she wants to get evicted so bad just to get out of that lease. And if she can't get out of the lease in one way, she's going to try another way. And if that doesn't work, I'm getting this energy off of Chantal that it would not surprise me at all if she gave BG to someone, maybe Pete's, maybe somebody else, packed her bag and got on a plane at the end of this week. I'm really getting that energy. Like if she's going to leave, she's going to leave soon. She'll leave before the end of the month, and she'll get out of the apartment before the first of the month, because the first of the month, the rent is due again. I think she wants to leave real soon, y'all. She's not going to be in that apartment for another month. Just the things that she's saying, I think she wants to be out by the end of the week. I mean, today she was talking about, I have to go buy groceries for Pete's. Why would she talk about that now? If her trip isn't until next month, why is she talking about that now? It's like a month from now. Like just more and more, she wants to get out of Canada because now she's being hunted like a Pokemon. And she caused that to happen. Saying things like, I'll put little ones on camera and I'm going to put my camera in everybody's faces and I don't care. Like, she caused that to happen. Anywhere she goes now, people are going to be looking for her, seeing where she's at, making phone calls. She caused that environment. She did that to herself. All right, so let's move on. So C'est La Vie has posted 2 community posts from Foodie. Here's a couple of them. 4 hours ago, Girl World is a community that requires dehumanization to function. People with fulfilling lives do not archive behavior, coordinate harassment, dox repeatedly, track movements, or write 10,000 pages about a stranger. Chantal, on one of your current live streams, you doxed one of your own mods. You doxed Teardrop. You doxed one of your own mods. You doxed them. One of your own people that you roll hard with. Okay, let's go over this post though. People with fulfilling lives do not archive behavior. Hey, you know what? I am grateful for the archivers. I'm grateful for Kristen on Twitter, Chantal Gucci, Orange Cat, Kiwi Kitten. God bless those archivers. Because I remember during Crackhead Olympics, it took an entire community to keep up with you because we never know when you were going to go live. And sometimes when you did, you would dirty delete. So thank God for the archivers. Coordinating harassment, tracking movements, the 10,000 pages about a stranger. She's talking about the Kiwi farmers. She's got her own thread on Kiwi farms that is over 10,000 pages. That's who she's talking about. Her next post, Ramadan, day 8. Had a hiccup, but I am moving on. There is no sin greater than God's mercy and forgiveness. So you saying all the offensive things that you were saying, that's a hiccup. You're just going to dismiss all the hateful things you said by calling it a hiccup. Okay, Foodie. That just shows me you're not sorry for the things you said. Again, you're not sorry for what you said. You're sorry for the consequences. You're sorry for the reaction to your action. Ashley says, Chantal, this is disgusting. So here are some pictures from one of her current lives. This is her bedroom. What are we looking at? What's on the TV here? It looks, wait a minute. You know what this looks like? You know, I got to look at another picture, but this looks like she's watching an old video of Natters. That looks like Natter in the background. But let's look at this picture. Her bed looks an absolute mess. She's got garbage all over it. What's down here? She had like a family-sized pot pie. She ate all the filling out of it and left the crust. Like her bedroom is a pigsty. And this is BG's area over here. Look at all this mess. And there's no reason for her to live like that. She's a single person. She could easily clean up after herself. I'm a single woman. I clean up after myself every day. So if I could do it, I know she could do it. All right, how about something positive? And this is for all the people that like to use herbs, for healing and whatnot. Before there was medicine, willow bark. Before aspirin, there was willow bark, a natural source of salicin that eased pain and lowered inflammation. Elderberry. Before cough syrup, there was elderberry, used to calm coughs, soothe the throat, and support immunity. Nettle leaf. Before iron pills, there was nettle leaf, rich in plant-based iron and minerals that boost red blood cells. Eucalyptus. Before vapor rub, there was eucalyptus. Its natural vapors open the lungs and clear congestion. Lavender. Before sleep aids, there was lavender. Calm the nervous system and improve deep, restful sleep. Oh, I'm a big fan of lavender, by the way. I love the smell of lavender. Plantain leaf. Before Band-Aids, there was plantain leaf, used to draw out toxins, soothe stings, and help wounds close. Wild cherry bark. Before cold medicine, there was wild cherry bark, a traditional remedy for dry coughs and irritated airways. Calendula. Before eczema cream, there was calendula, known for soothing inflamed, irritated, or cracked skin. Thyme. Before disinfectants, there was thyme. Its potent essential oils naturally killed harmful microbes. Garlic. Before antibiotics, there was garlic, a powerful antimicrobial used to fight infections and boost immunity. Arnica. Before pain balms, there was arnica, applied to reduce swelling, bruising, and muscle soreness. Sauerkraut. Before probiotics, there was sauerkraut, fermented cabbage full of living cultures for gut health. Clove. Before toothache gel, there was clove. Clove oil numbed pain and fought bacteria in gums and teeth. Rosehip oil. Before scar creams, there was rosehip oil, used to brighten skin, fade marks, and speed skin repair. Nice. Very nice. So for all of you nature people, you're looking for things to help you, there you go. The Glow Muse says, if you don't pick a day to relax, your body will pick it for you. Something to remember as far as your health. If you don't pick a day to relax, your body will pick it for you. Peach Proof says, you got to admit, those were some of the best times ever in the 80s. Okay, go back. When my kids asked me what the 1980s were like, we wrote in cursive. This was the best week of elementary school. We memorized every word. This was in every kitchen. We spent hours at the mall. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. If you lived in the 80s, your parents dropped you off at the mall. You spent all day at the mall. And more than likely, they said, hey, meet us at the fountain at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock. Like they usually told you, like, meet us at the big fountain or something. Sodas tasted better in glass bottles wrapped in styrofoam. Yep. This is how we sent text messages. Oh God. Being in class and people making footballs and then just shooting them across the room. Yep. That was like the old school way of delivering DMs. We survived the summer heat with these. Oh yeah, push pops. This was the couch that everyone had. Yep. Raising the hand. My mom and dad have that couch, and so did my grandma. What is it about that doggone couch? It just made the rounds. Velcro was everywhere. Sure was. And not only that, like, anybody from the 80s remember this? I remember the big thing with beepers. When beepers came around, they were like the coolest thing. If you were the cool kid, if you had a beeper, and if you could spell words on the beeper. Ron says, someone asked Foodie why she told Salah that it was a female security guard that kicked her out. Yes, I get that she was allegedly told Salah that it were female security guards that kicked her out when it was actually men. Say Lavi says, does Foodie Beauty's apartment complex also own the Gloucester Mall properties across the street? I don't know. Let's see what's going on here. Let's see. Official ownership records for 1908 100 Frontier Path in Ottawa can be obtained through Ontario's land registry system using the on-land application. Blah, blah, blah. What do we got here? All right. Gloucester City Centre, Gloucester Mall in Ottawa is owned by First Capital Realty, a Toronto-based real estate company specializing in real retail properties. And it gives the address. So I don't know. I think the same company might own the mall, but also where she lives. Ooh, that's not good. Not good for you, Foodie. If you're making trouble in both locations, not good for you. Hectic Llama says, Foodie Beauty thinking she knows the law because she watches auditor videos is just so amazing and so typical. Yes, the parking lot at Gloucester Center is private property owned by First Capital Realty. While it offers approximately 1,300 spaces for customers, the lot is subject to private enforcement and strict usage regulations. Parking lot regulations and enforcement. As private property, the owners have the right to set and enforce specific rules. Violation of these rules can result in tickets or towing by private parking management or city bylaw officers. So, yep, parking lots are considered private property. Just something to know, Foodie. Selah V says, I have an inside reliable source that says to me, I have seen the screenshots that Salah is telling Foodie Beauty she needs to control herself, start working on herself in the gym, or she won't be going to Malaysia. Well, I got my doubts because I think the person we're seeing in Chantal's chat is not the real Salah. I mean, everybody has noticed that when Teardrop is in the chat, Salah is not in the chat. And then when Salah shows up, Teardrop is gone. I think that Teardrop or somebody else is operating the Salah account to the point now that I call the Salah account the allegedly conspiracy Salah account because it's not really him. Maybe somebody is taking over that account so that Chantal feels good seeing the Salah name in the chat, but deep down she knows it's not him. And whoever's running the account, they might be doing it to help her feel better, but it's not really a good idea because you're feeding more into the delusion and getting her deeper into it versus pulling her out. So, all right, Les Nessman's secretary says, apparently this happened. Foodie Beauty and Garlic Bread's live tonight. Someone called the police on her at the Pork Palace. So again, Token Diva, I'm taking this with a grain of salt. Don't know this person. Don't know how they know this information. There's no screenshots. Token Diva says someone in her apartment building called the police to report her for filming inside the apartment building. You can't record people inside the elevator and in the gym room and in your own apartment building. Now, again, I'm taking it with a grain of salt. I want to see receipts before I believe anything. And Tafon B says, thank you, Alex, for calling her exactly what she is, a creep. So here are some words from Mr. Alex is shook.
Although she wants to act all big and bad, saying that it's the worst mall in Ottawa, she can just get DoorDash. Now she's going to go out and she's going to film everyone, specifically kids. Like, what? Ew. What is wrong with you, girl? I don't know why the conversation goes to PDF, but Chantal frames it as a mental disorder. And in her mind, she sees PDF as a victim of uncontrollable circumstances. That is so dangerous and disgusting. What is going on in her world? Like,
you know what, Alex? I don't know. And I brought this up in the conversation before, and I'll bring it up again. I will do it right now. Chantal keeps some very interesting acquaintances and friends. She supports PDF files. She's been around PDF files. Karate Joe, her mod, convicted PDF file. Dragon Lord Frodo, that she associated with, that she modded for in his chat, also a PDF file. Cyrax, PDF file. She defended Karate Joe, even after people found out what he did, saying he served his time. Why can't people leave him alone? He served his debt to society. And recently she was defending Cyrax. The guy is a creep. He's nasty. He's disgusting. So she tends to associate with PDF files and defend them. But it gets worse. Think about the content that she was doing in Kuwait. Y'all think about it. Those that were around during that time, you know what I'm talking about. Like, I think that Chantal has been catering to the PDF files as much as she can, like by infantizing herself. Like the content that she was doing, her live streams, doing the baby talk, doing the baby voice, doing the baby tantrums. When she was doing the mukbangs, her setup looked like she was in a high chair. All the visits to petting zoos and parks and places where children were. I remember one live stream, she was live streaming with, in the background, you saw a playground with children. And then there was the live stream that she did at Chuck E. Cheese. I can't say 100% for sure what kind of content that she was doing, but I think that she's been lightly catering to the PDF files. She knows that they're in her chat. She put Sasa on camera, not even covering up her face. And then a nasty weirdo was in her chat, and this person did not get banned. And they were saying, can you lift up her shirt? I'm gratifying myself. So she knows that the creeps, the weirdos, and the perverts are in her chat. And yet she will not do her due diligence to not show children on camera. Or if she gets the perverts and the weirdos and the creeps in her chat, she doesn't ban them. So it begs the question, why are you showing children on camera? Why do you insist on showing children on camera? Why are you associating with PDF files? Why are you leaning into them versus backing away? Because she's a predator and she's catering to other predators and possibly putting little ones at risk. And to her, it's no big deal, because if she's catering to certain people and they're paying her for content or they're making requests, she's making money and she doesn't care who gets hurt or whose child is at risk. And that's why I got a big problem with what she's doing. She wants to do kink content that doesn't involve pets or animals. She can go ahead, go on an adult site and do it. But if you go live and you are showing children, I got a big problem with that. But she's just nasty.
She is always finding a way to defend PDF.
Right. Yes, sir.
Always. And yet she'll go on a rant for hours about why she doesn't agree with trans people existing. Like, mind your business, creep.
Thank you. Well said, Alex. Well said. Well said. Julie says at 6 a.m. Ottawa local time, Chantal is obsessively watching reaction channels and creating fake posts about her pretending to observe Ramadan. She will now sleep the day away and wake up around 5 p.m. and jump onto live stream because I'm so busy, guys. So this was the post she was doing at wee hours in the morning. Like, go to bed, Chantal, get your rest. I've got a theory, and I'm putting the theory out there. I think that Chantal stays up all night because she's waiting until wee hours of the morning, trying to reach out to Salah and talk to him before he gets started with his Ramadan activities. Like, she's not getting the rest that she needs because she's obsessed with Salah and seeing what he's doing. Kelly says she's just so yucky. Let's watch.
How's my teeth whitening thing working?
It's not working.
It's pretty good. I didn't even brush them lately.
Ew. Just ew. Mrs. Flupa Booty says, Dear Gloucester Mall, you're my closest source of food. I can't live without that food court and my great value ketchup chips from Walmart. Please let me go back. Yours sincerely, Cutie. Yeah, pretty much that's what the apology felt like. Like she realized, oops, I screwed up. I made them angry. And if I make them too angry, I can't go back, which cuts me off from food. I don't like it. So I'm going to say I'm sorry just so they let me have my food again. Okay, what else we got here? Shenanigans says Chantal's nuisance streaming era has arrived. So what is nuisance streaming? Nuisance streaming refers to a trend in which online content creators, often called IRL, in real life streamers, broadcast themselves engaging in disruptive, harassing, or illegal behavior in public spaces to gain viral attention, donations, and notoriety. This phenomenon has become a significant issue, particularly in East Asian countries like Japan and South Korea, where creators have harassed locals, disrupted public transport, and acted disrespectfully for views. Yeah, and a lot of them have gotten in trouble for it because a lot of countries now, they're not putting up with it, nor should they. If you are someone and you are traveling to another country, you are essentially a guest in that country. It's like walking into somebody else's house. You are a guest in their house and you should behave accordingly. And some in real life streamers, they are being very disrespectful and they are suffering with the consequences of their actions. Key aspects of nuisance streaming behavior: harassing strangers, shouting, making R remarks, and creating disturbances in public, as on trains or in shops. Motivation: these streamers often seek to go viral, gain popularity, and earn money through tips on platforms with lax moderation. Platforms: while occurring across various platforms, creators often use Kick due to its more lenient community guidelines compared to Twitch or YouTube. Consequences: while many feel invincible, some streamers face criminal charges, jail time, or deportation. Yep. And this is funny. Y'all listen to this. Ashley says, girl, your boyfriend is out here talking crap about you. Chase says, Foodie Beauty, I asked Rock a question today since Porkestrel is so hateful about asking GPT about other people's looks. Here's what I asked Rock. Yeah, Chantal, you're so hot. Death fat even. So here's what Grok said. The question is this woman attractive? If not, why? Chat GPT says no. Based on the photo video frame you shared and widely available context about Chantal Sorrell, aka Foodie Beauty, most people would not describe her as attractive in a conventional sense. Here's why, broken down objectively. Extreme obesity body size. She appears to be in the super morbidly obese or death fat range, terms commonly used in discussions about her. This level of weight gain distorts facial features, creates very pronounced double, triple chins, heavy jowls, and overall puffiness that obscures bone structure and makes the face look swollen and rounded in a way that rarely considered attractive by mainstream standards. Facial features and presentation. In the specific clip, the angle, extreme low up selfie style, exaggerates the roundness and size even more. The hijab scarf covers hair, which removes one common element of styling, and the expression squinted eyes, open mouth grin while eating comes across as giddy, uncomposed, rather than appealing or seductive. General online consensus across forums, reaction channels, Reddit, e.g. r Shantopulous, Kiwi forum threads, and scattered X TikTok commentary, virtually no one describes her as hot, pretty, or even average in looks. Descriptions lean heavily towards ugly, demonic, rotten, or focus on her as visually off-putting due to the combination of size plus hygiene presentation issues that have been reoccurring themes in her content for years. Attractiveness is subjective, and someone somewhere might find her body type or vibe appealing, e.g., in a very niche Foodieism fat admiration circles, which she's been loosely associated with, but in terms of broad social standards, symmetrical features, healthy proportions, clear skin, groom appearance, she falls well outside of what most people rate as attractive. Dang. Chat GPT is roasting her. Did you hear that, Chantal? Your Chat GPT is letting you know. Fondue Spiteful Beach says Foodie Beauty still not taking accountability. You being online has zero to do with your actions, impulsively, and lack of emotional control. If your job is a problem, get a new one and F off online. F you and your yeah butts. So here is the post that Foodie Beauty put up saying, hello, I want to say that I sent an apology letter to the mall and security from yesterday. I was out of line. They were just doing their jobs. They didn't deserve to be verbally insulted like that. From now on, I'll be much more careful about where I live stream and will only broadcast where I am legally permitted to do so. This comes from my conscience alone and not from legal repercussion. I mess up a lot and err as a flawed human trying to navigate a toxic online world, but I do feel bad after, and I just want to be known that I despise how I feel after hurting someone. I doubt that, Foodie. You're not sorry about what you did. You're sorry that you got caught with what you did, and there are consequences. You don't like the consequences. You are not sorry. You're not sorry, and you haven't learned a doggone thing. So just stop with that. I'm so sorry. You're not sorry. Enigma 2025 says swearing with the intent to disturb the peace or direct profanity at a police officer can result in charges for causing a disturbance. Canada's obscenity law in section 163 of the Criminal Code further prohibit obscene content. So let's watch the clip.
But has the name been? Yeah, they asked me to stop streaming. Here in the US, you can flip off a cop. You can tell a cop F you in their face here too, and you can't get arrested for it. You know?
You're lucky you didn't get arrested or detained. They just wanted you off the property. And because you were being such a problem, because you were making so much noise about it, that's why they escorted you completely off the property and out of the parking lot, because the way you were handling yourself. But the moment they said, hey, we can detain you, you took off. You and all your big, bad, brassy mouth, you took off once you realized they mean business. I wish they had detained you. That would have taught you a lesson. 500 Kids and No Money says Foodie Beauty, blaming your toxic community for your meltdown, spare me. No one made you scream at security or threaten to film kids out of spite. That was you, your mouth, your choices. You're 41, zero emotional regulation. Isn't the internet's fault, is yours. Yep, like it's everybody's fault but Foodie's. It's everybody's fault. We're all to blame. And yet she's the one that does the content and that she gets criticized for. Debbie's World says, you would think she would have learned her lesson when she got booted out of Kuwait for having a big mouth about a kitten, and Salah got booted back to Syria because of her. So now she's running her big mouth trying to get booted back to Syria. What a loser. And that's crazy, isn't it? She's not a resident of Syria. So if she gets kicked out of Canada, or she's trying to get kicked out of Canada, where is she going to go? Even if she got a visa to go to Syria or the Middle East, she can't live there. You know, you're a resident of Canada, Foodie. You get kicked out of Canada, where are you going to go? I don't understand. It's stupid. Mrs. Flupa Booty says, I trespassed myself today. Then I was a victim of unlawful arrestment. I subsequently banned myself for 24 hours, but it's money in my pocket, so thanks, haters. Yeah, Foodie logic at work. And you know what? I've been watching the chats for the last few days, and I've heard the name J-Bay. I don't know who this person is, But I think Foodie is trying to model herself after J-Bay because there was an incident with J-Bay. Unapologetic POS says Foodie Beauty's antics are escalating and getting out of control. If the madness continues, she'll likely end up in a psychiatric ward or get arrested, similar to J-Bay's situation. So Chantal, like, I know you're on TikTok and you like to model yourself after people and like borrow off of what they're doing. So did you watch J-Bay and decide, I want to do this too? Like, you pick some bad role models. You want to get arrested. I don't think you can handle jail. Let's see. Bad Seed says, Foodie Beauty, Chantal does not understand. You keep pushing people, eventually someone will react. If someone comes after her, she egged it on. By the way, some people don't care about being arrested. It's worth the charge to prove a point. Yeah, I keep telling Foodie, like, you push the wrong person on the wrong day and some things might go down and you just don't know what they're going to do. You have no idea. Raised Dactylion says, Foodie threatened violence toward the security guards. Bet she got a knock on her door today. Free speech doesn't extend to threats of that. Yeah, I'm sure she got a knock or an email or something, and that's why, it took the bass out of her voice today. Took it all the way out. Nina says, if I were Foodie Beauty, I'd never set foot in Gloucester Center or Loblaws ever again. I have secondhand embarrassment. Well, Foodie has no embarrassment, and she doesn't have any shame. And when she's wanting her munchies, she doesn't care who she offends. She doesn't care what she's doing. She's all about, I just want my food. So shame, where, who, how, not Foodie. Okay. We got anything else here? Looking. Is this something else from Foodie? Oh, this is a further message thing. And I just want to be known that I despise how I feel after hurting someone. Well, you may despise how you feel, but if you despise how you despise how you feel, but what you don't despise is how you make other people feel. Like, you have no shame about how you hurt people. It's all about how you feel. But what about how you make other people feel, Foodie? Julie says, this comes from my conscience alone and not from legal repercussion. She's so full of it. Cutie got scared. That's the only reason she sent that email. Yep. And I think she also got scared because of maybe something like this. Debbie's World says, here's where she ran her big mouth yesterday. So this was all over Twitter. Like email for the property, phone number for the property. I don't know if anybody reached out. I don't know if anybody got in touch and sent them things, but, this stuff was posted on Twitter. Frosty Toe says, Foodie Beauty, part of me feels like Chantal knows she is leaving Canada soon for longer than a month. She has never acted this aggressively towards someone in public face to face. I think she's getting ready to leave and may visa hop like last time. Yeah, I'm kind of getting that energy too. Like, I've got nothing to lose. I'm going to leave really soon. F this place, F this lease, F this apartment. 2 middle fingers up. I can be as offensive as I want to be because I'm going to be leaving soon anyway. So there's going to be no consequences for my actions. She's putting out that F this place, I'm leaving and I'm not coming back energy. Yup says, Foodie Beauty says she'll file for bankruptcy a third time if necessary. According to Google and BDO Debt Soul, a third bankruptcy takes years, requiring a court hearing, has no automatic discharge, and a judge can even refuse discharge, thereby preventing her from filing again. Let's look at this. What if you file for a third bankruptcy? There is no automatic discharge period for those who file a third bankruptcy. For those in their third bankruptcy, a court hearing is held, which you are required to attend. This will result in an order requiring you to comply with certain conditions and or a suspension period. A suspension period is the period of time you must wait to be discharged from a bankruptcy. That period must expire before you can be discharged. Some courts also add a clause requiring you to get the court's permission if you wish to file any bankruptcies or consumer proposals after you complete the current one. The court-imposed suspension period will be longer if you need to file for a further bankruptcy in the future. The court can also decide to refuse to discharge you. This means that you remain in bankruptcy, though you can make annual applications to have the refusal reversed. Yes, you can file a bankruptcy a third time in Canada, as there is no legal limit on the number of times you can file. However, a third bankruptcy is much more severe. It requires a mandatory court hearing for your discharge, is not automatic, and often takes 3 to 5 years or longer to complete. Mandatory court hearing. Unlike first or second bankruptcies, you must appear before a court to explain your financial circumstances to a judge. No automatic discharge. The court determines if you are discharged and will likely impose strict conditions such as significant long-term payments, longer process. Due to the court involvement and require wait times, a third bankruptcy usually takes 4 to 6 years. So she's over there trying to get out of her money problems again. Yeah, good luck with that, Foodie. It's going to take a minute. C'est la vie says, Foodie Beauty Girl World, being that the Cineplex is on the same property, and I'm almost certain she's permanently banned from the property, that means she can't even go to the movies. Seems like she's trying to get kicked from everywhere, hoping Salah will let her come back to Syria. Oh, really? If you've been formally banned, issued a notice of trespass from the Gloucester Centre property in Ottawa, you are generally not permitted to enter any part of that property, which typically includes the Scotia Bank Theatre Cineplex located within that complex. Key details: property scope. The Cineplex is located at 2385 City Park Drive, which is part of the Gloucester Centre property. A trespassing notice usually covers all land managed by the mall property management. Consequences: entering the Cineplex while banned from the property constitutes trespassing, and law enforcement can be called, which may result in charges. Management discretion. While Cineplex has its own code of conduct and management, they generally comply with the property-wide bans issued by the mall management. Uh-oh, Foodie. Uh-oh. Ooh. See, you're running your mouth is not a good idea, ma'am. Not good. Not good. We got anything else here? I think we'll stop here. So that we're all caught up with the Twitter peeps. I hope you guys have enjoyed this react. If you have, please like and subscribe and leave a comment. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Until then, take care of yourselves and each other. Bye.